Well, we really do have a icon, not just a cult icon of martial arts and Hollywood films or top-rated TV shows, also an author, political activist, a real conservative. And I tell you, he's been getting even more hardcore against the things that threaten the constitutional republic. He's with us for only 20 minutes. First time I ever talked to him was just during the break. I was flattered to hear that he's heard the radio show and tuned in. And we have Chuck Norris with us for 20 minutes. The new book is out, and I have read much of it. I just got it a few days ago. Black Belt Patriotism, How to Reawaken America. Martial arts master, actor, and political activist. We're also live at prisonplanet.tv, streaming from the studio. There is the book for folks watching. I don't want to waste any time with any more introduction. He is one of the few people that doesn't need one, kind of like Jesse Ventura, the governor, on with us last hour, coming down to an event I'm putting on Willie Nelson coming up later this month on the 26th. Chuck Norris, it is great to have you, sir.
Oh, thanks, Alex. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
You know, so much has happened, so much has been unfolding lately. I wanted to get your take first on the bailout that's going on right now.
You know, I don't know if it's going to relieve the pressure on our citizens and our Americans. I'm all for it. You know, it's so complicated, Alex, you know, and unless you really delve into that to find out exactly what it's going to do, it's a very difficult situation to determine. And I just hope, if they do pass the bill, that it's not in vain. You know, that we're just not going to waste another $1 trillion for unnecessarily. It's just I tell you, that's why I wrote this book. I really did a lot of research because I am so worried, like so many people in America are, about the future, about the direction our country's heading economically, and our national debt and illegal immigration and all these issues we're facing. And you know, and research and doing all the research on this book here, and finding out that the founding fathers had a vision for America, and it was not corrupted by greed and power. And the politicians are so disconnected from the will of the people, we've got to do something about it, Alex. That's why in this book here I just give 8 major problems America's facing. And I give my own common sense solutions to solving these problems. You know, the first chapter deals with I believe we've forgotten our roots and have drifted from the principles and belief that our country is founded upon. You know, and then the second chapter is about our national debt, and then the third one's about our nation's borders and the illegal immigration, and going all the way down to I think we lost our moral compass in America, the devaluation of human life, failing of our children, and I talk about our health problems also. You know, I think we have a huge, serious health problem here in America. And
now you talk about the trans fats and other chemicals in the food. I mean, even if you try to be healthy and eat that stuff, you're going to get sick because it's deadly.
Yeah, it is. It is. But the thing is, you just got to be more cautious of what it is, and knowing the right times to eat, and the amounts that you eat. You know, we're the most overeaten country in the world. You know, because I've been over to Europe. You know, and people are very cautious about how they do eat. Yeah,
giant portions. I mean, they have big gulp drinks at 7-Eleven the size of small trash cans now.
Yeah, I know. And this thing, we need to put the pressure on our fast food chains to, start improving on the quality of the foods. Don't make them so fat related. Did
you like the movie, the film Fast Food Nation? I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. But the thing is, Alex, we have such a bloated federal bureaucracy, and government. I'll give you an example. How many pages do you think there are in the IRS tax code?
I know it's in the tens of thousands, and then they have all these.
Yeah, exactly 66,498 pages, Alex. And the thing is, who in the world knows what's in those 66,000 pages? Charlie, Rangel, he doesn't know, and he writes the tax code.
Well, that's what George Orwell said, that in a tyranny, the government writes laws that makes everybody criminal.
Yeah, exactly. And a good example of that is in 2005, when researching this book, I found out in 2005, over 6,000 taxpayers making over $250,000 a year paid absolutely no taxes. So we have a broken system here in the country. In fact, it was unconstitutional until 1913 to even tax our people. And then we had in 1913 we had the 16th Amendment that made IRS legal.
Well, Chuck, I know you're very well educated because I know a lot of Dallas police and state police and folks that know you years ago. before I'd ever actually confirmed it, said that you were aware of some of the work that I do and Ron Paul and others. And I mean, that's it. We have private bankers, the New World Order, that control both parties. What's your take on all this globalization and the North American Union and the Trans-Texas Corridor?
Well, going on, I campaigned for Mike Huckabee, and I met thousands of millennials, and it's interesting to see how their take on our country and our world. And listen, I put them in my book, some of the statements they made, and they said, they think that America has stretched her boundaries too far into other countries' business. And they say, we believe that America overplays the role of world peace officer. They believe America sends too much money abroad. They think we dole out too much money for foreign aid.
It's become an empire.
It has become an empire. And listen to this. Barack Obama wants to send $50 billion to the United Nations as soon as he gets into office. Now, for the poor, which sounds fine. But the thing is, when I was in Korea, Alex, we have hundreds of orphanages over there in Korea, and so America was sending over thousands of dollars in food, aid, medical, and money, and only 10% of what was sent over there reached the orphanages. 90% went into the pockets of corrupted politicians over there.
Well, remember after 9/11 when even the Red Cross and others and United Way got over $5 billion, and then they said every dime would go, but then they kept half of it and then gave some of the money to gun control groups.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy. And so the thing is, that $50 billion, how much is really going to go to the poor? And how much money is going to go in the pockets of the corrupted politicians in the United Nations? That's what concerns me. We keep sending money out, and the money's not going where it should be going. And and plus we got to worry about our people here in our own country. We got the downtrodden, the homeless. We have very poor people in our own country that needs to be taken care of first before we start doling out money to other nations.
Absolutely. The problem we face is we get different rhetoric from the two parties, but when it comes to action, and I know you're a loyal person and been somewhat loyal to Republicans.
No, I'm not really.
Because at least on their platform they were better, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. Well, what's your take on how both political parties now seem to be going in one direction? 91% of the American people in Gallup polls want to control our borders, or 70+% don't want to be in Iraq, or on and on and in, or 90% don't want the bailout, but they're still trying to pass it.
Yeah, truthfully, when the Republicans were in control of the Congress in those first 6 years of Bush's, they ran us into the ground. So the Democrats said, well, we'll change everything. We'll make everything better. So now the Democrats have control of Congress, and they've run us deeper into the ground. I don't know who to trust. I don't trust any of them. Ron Paul's the only guy I trust. And like you heard, Alex, I said if I had one wish, if they give me one wish, I'd like to line up all the members of Congress and have Ron Paul walk with me down the line and say, okay, which one's corrupted? Which one's corrupted? And the ones he points to as corrupted, I'm going to choke them unconscious and stick them into a pile. Kind of a off-center joke for me, but it's...
Well, I saw that in the... Cleveland Plain Dealer, and he said I'd keep sticking them in a pile, piling them up, said the martial arts star, who at 68 looks as young and buff as in his Walker, Texas Ranger glory days. The ones that are honest, they stay. And that's my next point. And you get into some of this in the book, but you say that you're aware of some of the things I cover and what Ron Paul gets into. Chuck, a lot of conservatives listen to you. They aren't aware like you are or like I am that the party has been taken over by these multinational corporations, by the foreign lobbyists, by the special interest. I was asking you about the globalists, the New World Order, the North American Union, the Army Times. I know you're a big supporter of the military, but if we support the military, we've got to keep them, doing jobs that are constitutional. They're announcing NORTHCOM is now going to have active duty brigades in the U.S. to, quote, deal with civil unrest. That violates posse comitatus. And I know you're a big friend to law enforcement, but the police I talk to, they're getting upset about the spying on citizens. The excuse and the threat of terrorism being used as a pretext to really have the government circle the wagons against the people so that we can't remove them from office. Can you speak to that?
Well, the thing is we can't. The thing... It's such a complicated mess. But I agree with you, Alex. You cannot start spying on the citizens of America. I mean, we're getting enough spying on with the internet. I mean, I can't even blow my nose without somebody knowing it on the internet, and it's crazy. And we're all an open book today with the wild frontier of the internet. But the thing is, we cannot have law enforcement going in and breaking down doors with just suspicions. But the thing is,
well, that's the problem. That's the problem is that they're given these unfunded federal mandates. They're not allowed to do their constitutional jobs.